chapters 13 through 18 of the book of Joshua from the Holy Bible in Modern English. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Mark Penfold. The Holy Bible in Modern English, translated by Ferrar Fenton. The book of Joshua, chapters 13 through 18. Chapter 13. But Joshua grew old and advanced in days, when the ever-living said to him, "You are old and advanced in days, and the remainder of the country to be conquered is very large, that is the country of Nashareth, all Galilee, the Philistines, and all the Geshurites, from the Nile which bounds the Mitzrayim, and from thence as far as the borders of Akron northward, belonging to the Canaanites, with the 5 lordships of the Philistines, the Azathir, the Ashdodai, the Ashkelonai, the Gathai, the Akronai, and the Arai on the south, all the country of the Canaanite and Mara near Zidon, to Aphak on the borders of the Amorite, with the district of the Giblai, and all eastern Lebanon toward sunrise, from Baal-Gad below Mount Hermon to the pass of Hamath, all the regions of the highlands from Lebanon to the shores of the sea, and all the Zidonians, whom I will drive out before the face of the children of Israel. Therefore assign to Israel their allotments as I command you. Consequently, divide this country into districts for the 9½ tribes to possess, because the Reubenites and the Gadites took their districts which Moses gave them over the Jordan eastward. Moses, the servant of the ever-living, fixed for them, from Aroer, that is on the bank of the river Arnon, and the town in the middle of the river, and all the plain of Midbah to Dibon, with all the towns of Sihon king of the Amorites, who was king in Heshbon to the border of the Beni Ammon, with Gilad and the borders of the Girgashites, and the Maccathites, and the hill of Hermon, and all Heshbon, to Salcah, all the territories of Og in Bashan, who was king in Ashtaroth and Adrai, with the remains of the Rephaim, which Moses subdued and seized. Moses also gave to the tribe of Reuben by their families, and their boundary was from Aroer, which is on the bank of the river Arnon, and the town that is in the middle of the river, and all the plain to Midbah, Heshbon and all the villages that are in the plain, Dibon and Bamoth Baal, and Beth-Baal, the inner, with Zotzah, and Kadmoth, and Miphath, with Kirzathaim, and Sibmah, and all the districts of Sihon king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, whom Moses executed with the princes of Midian, Er, and Rechem, and Zur, and Kor, and Reba, lords of Sihon, residents in the country, and Bilam the son of Beor, the diviner, whom the children of Israel slew with the sword for cursing them. These were the boundaries of the sons of Reuben. They began at the Jordan, which completed the boundary of the allotments of the sons of Reuben for their families, in their towns and in their suburbs. Moses also gave to the tribe of Gad, the sons of Gad, for their families. And their boundary was Jazer, and all the towns of Gilad, and half the country of the children of Ammon to Aroer, which is opposite Rabbah, and from Heshbon to Ramoth, to Mizpah and Betonim, and from Machanim to the boundary at Debir, then from the vale of Beth-Aram, and Beth-Minrah, and Sukkoth, and North Zather, from the districts of Sihon king of Heshbon, to the Jordan, and the boundary ended at the lake of Kinneroth, on the eastward beyond the Jordan. This was the district of the sons of Gad for their families, with the villages and their suburbs. Moses also gave to the half-tribe of Manasseh for the families of the half-tribe of the sons of Manasseh. And their boundaries were from Machanim to Bashan, all the kingdoms of Og king of Bashan, with all the villages on the river which is in Bashan, 60 towns, with the half of Gilad, and Ashtaroth, and Adrai, villages of the kingdom of Og in Bashan, to the sons of Machir the son of Manasseh, for division to the sons of Machir for their families. This was the district of Manasseh from Arboth of Moab beyond the Jordan, eastward of Jericho. But to the tribe of Levi Moses gave no portion. The ever-living God of Israel is their portion, as he said to them. Chapter 14. But these are the portions of the children of Israel which were allotted to them by Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun, and the chiefs of the tribes of the children of Israel. They assigned them by lot, as the ever-living commanded by the medium of Moses, to the 9½ tribes, because Moses had given portions to 2½ tribes beyond the Jordan, and to the Levites no portion was given amongst them. The sons of Joseph, however, were 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim, but no portion was given to the Levites in their country, except towns for residence, and pastures for their cattle. As the ever-living commanded Moses, the children of Israel did when they divided the country. The sons of Judah, however, approached Joshua in Gilgal, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite said to him, "Probably you will remember the word which the ever-living spoke to Moses the man of God about you and myself at Kadesh Barnea. I was 40 years old when Moses the servant of the ever-living sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy the country, and I brought him back a report such as was in my heart. But my companions who went with me melted the heart of the people, whilst I was strong for my ever-living God. So Moses swore in that day, saying, The country that you have been to survey shall be your estate, and your children's forever, for you are full after the ever-living God. And now look, as Jehovah lives with me since that word was spoken, it is 45 years from the time the ever-living commanded that promise by Moses while Israel wandered in the desert. So look now, I am today 85 years old, yet I am today as strong as on the day Moses sent me out. I am strong yet, and as bold now for war, both to march out and to return again. Therefore give to me that high land that the ever-living promised at that time, for the Anakim are there and have great fortified cities. If the ever-living is with me, then he will drive them out, as the ever-living promised." So Joshua blessed him and gave to Caleb the son of Jephunneh Hebron as an estate. Consequently Hebron has belonged to Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite as his portion to this day, because he was full after the ever-living God of Israel. The country, then, was quiet from war. Chapter 15. And the boundary of the tribe of Judah for their families was from the border of Eden, from the desert of Zin on the south, to the limits of Thimon. And their southern border ran from the side of the Salt Sea, on the bay running south of the ascent of Akrabin, and passing over at Zin, and ascending from the south to Kadesh Barnea, then passing from Katzahan, and ascending to Adair, where it turned to Karka. Thence passing to Aizmon, and ascending the river of Mitzrayim, and the termination of the boundary is at the sea. This is their southern boundary. But the eastern boundary is the Salt Lake to the mouth of the Jordan, and the boundary on the north side is from the bay of that lake at the mouth of the Jordan, where the border ascends to Beth-Kagla, and passes on the north of Beth-Arba, where the boundary ascends to Abenban of the Beni Reuben. Thence the boundary ascends to Debir from the vale of Achor, and to the northward to Gilgal, where it touches the ascent of Admin, which is to the south of the river. Whence the border passes to the brook of the Sunwell, and its termination is at the Spies Well. Thence the boundary ascends by the vale of Ben Hinnom to the cliff of the Jebusites, which is south of Jerusalem, whence the line ascends to the top of the hill, which is opposite the vale of Hinnom, westward, which is the boundary of the Rephaim northwards. Then the line is drawn from the top of the hill to the source of the brook Nephthach, and goes to the village of Mount Aphron, where the boundary ascends to Krith Jarim, where the line turns from the ascent westwards to Mount Seir, and passes the cliff of Mount Jarim from the north to Kisalon, and descends to Beth Shemesh, and passes to Timnah. Then the boundary comes to the cliff of Akron on the north, and the line draws on to Shikron, and passes the hill of Bala, and comes to Jabnal, which is the termination of the boundary on the west. But the western boundary is the Great Sea. This is the boundary of the sons of Judah, including their families. But to Caleb the son of Jephunneh an estate was given amongst the sons of Judah, by command of the ever-living to Joshua, of the 4 cities of Ani the Anak. And Caleb drove out from there the 3 sons of Anak, Shishai, and Achiman, and Thalmai, the descendants of Anak. Then he descended from there to the people of Debir, where Caleb said, Whoever conquers Krith Sepher and captures it, I will give him Axa my daughter for a wife. And Othniel the son of Kenaz, the brother of Caleb, captured it, and he gave him Axa his daughter as a wife. But when she came, he persuaded her to ask her father for a farm. So she dismounted from her ass, when Caleb asked her, What is it? And she replied, "Give me a blessing with the southern land you have given me. Give me springs of water." He therefore gave her the upper springs and lower springs. These are the possessions of the sons of Judah for their families. These villages were on the borders of the tribe of the children of Judah on the border of Edom towards the south: Kebzal, and Adar, and Jagir, and Kena, and Dimona, and Adada, and Kadesh, and Katzor, Ithran, Zuph, and Telem, and Baloth, Katzer, and Kadatha, and Kiriath, Katzron, Amam, and Shema, and Molda, and Katzergada, and Kashman, and Bethphalit, and Katzer the lower, and Barsheba, and Beziothaiah, Bala, and Azim, and Atzam, and Altalad, and Kesil, and Carmah, and Ziklag, and Madmana, and Sinsana, and Lebanth, and Shilkim, and Ain, and Rimmon, Kal Adma, Asrim, and Thisha, and Ketzihan, Bashphila, Ashthaul, and Surah, and Ashua, and Zenoch, and Anibanim, Thaphoch, and Ainam, Jarmuth, and Adlam, Soka, and Azka, and Sharim, and Arithaim, and Gadra, and Gadothaim, 14 towns, and Katzraben, Sinan, and Kardasha, and Migdal-gad, and Dilan, and Mitzvah, and Zachthal, Lachish, and Batskath, and Aglon, and Kabon, and Lachmas, and Kithlish, and Gadaroth, Beth-dagon, and Nama, and Makkedah, 16 towns and villages: Libnah, and Athar, and Ashan, and Japhthach, and Ashna, and Netzib, and Calaph, Achzite, and Marashah, 10 towns and villages: Akron and its daughters and villages. From Akron and westward, all that is about Ashdod and its villages: Ashdod and its daughters and villages, Azah and its daughters and villages, to the river of Mitzrayim and the shore of the Great Sea; and in the highlands Shamir, and Jether, and Soka, Danah, and Kiriath-sanah, and Anab, and Ashthina, and Anim, and Goshen, and Kolon, and Gila, 11 towns and their villages: Arad, and Dinah, and Ashon, and Janum, and Beth Taphokah, and Aphakah, and Kumtah, and Kiriath Arba, and Izar, 10 towns with their villages: Inner Carmel, and Ziph, and Yotah, and Israel, and Jokdom, and Zanok, Hakin, Geba, and Timnah, 10 towns with their villages: Kalkul, Beth Tsur, and Gider, and Marth, and Beth Anoth, and Elthakon, 6 towns and their villages: Krith Baal, and Arba, 2 towns and their villages. In the wilderness, Beth Arba, Midin, and Shakah, and Nibshan, and Amalak, and Ain Gedai. But the Jebusai continued in Jerusalem. The children of Judah were not able to expel them, so the Jebusai continue to reside amongst the sons of Judah in Jerusalem to this time. Chapter 16. The lot for the sons of Joseph came from the Jordan at Jericho. From the east of the brook of Jericho in the desert, it ascended from Jericho to the hill of Beth-el, then went from Beth-el to Luz, where the boundary passed as far as Ataroth, where the boundary descended westward towards Ziphleti, to the border of Beth-horon the lower, and then to Gezer, and that was its termination to the west. And the sons of Joseph, Manasseh and Ephraim, inherited it. But there was a boundary for the sons of Ephraim with their families, and the limit of their portion from the east was Ataroth Ader, to Beth-horon the upper, and the boundary went towards the west to Mikanathoth, from Zephon, where the line turned eastward to Thanath Shiloh, and passed from it to Janokah, and descended from Janokah to Ataroth and Naratha, and Phagah, to Jericho, and arrived at the Jordan. From Thaphoka the boundary went west of the river Kana, and its termination was west of this river for the tribe of the sons of Ephraim with their families. These towns were assigned to the sons of Ephraim amongst the portion of the sons of Manasseh, all the towns with their villages. They did not, however, expel the Canaanites who dwelt in Gezer. Consequently the Canaanites reside among Ephraim to this time, and they are tributaries. Chapter 17. But the bounds of the tribe of Manasseh, who was the firstborn son of Joseph, were To Machir, the elder son of Manasseh, the father of Gilead, who was a great general, was given Gilead and Bashan, and to the other sons of Manasseh with their families. To the sons of Eleazar, and the sons of Cholech, and the sons of Asrael, and the sons of Shechem, and the sons of Kepher, and the sons of Shemida, the sons of Manasseh, the son of Joseph the Great, with their families. And Zelophehad, the son of Kephir, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, had no sons, but only daughters. The names of his daughters were Maachah, and Noah, Kaglah, Milcah, and Thirzah, who approached the presence of Eleazar the priest, and the presence of Joshua the son of Nun, and the presence of the princes, saying, "The ever-living commanded to Moses to give us an estate amongst our relatives." Consequently they gave them an estate amongst the relatives of their father. But there fell 10 districts to Manasseh, beside those in the land of Gilead and Bashan, which are beyond the Jordan. For the daughters of Manasseh inherited an estate amongst the sons, but the land of Gilead came to the other sons of Manasseh. However, the bounds of Manasseh were from Michmethath to opposite Shechem, where the line runs to the right to the hamlets of Ain Thaphoch. The district of Thaphocha belongs to Manasseh, and at Thaphocha Manasseh and the sons of Ephraim are continuous. Thence the line descends to the river Kanah. South of that river the towns belong to Ephraim amongst the towns of Manasseh. There the border of Manasseh runs from the river, and its termination is the lake. On the south is Ephraim's, and northward is Manasseh's, and the lake is the boundary, and it is alongside Ashur from the north, and to Issachar on the east. But to Manasseh and Issachar and Ashur belonged Bethshan and her daughters, and Zabulon and her daughters, and the people of Dar and her daughters, and the people of Anidor and her daughters, and the people of Anak and her daughters, and the people of Megiddo and her daughters, 3 tablelands. For the sons of Manasseh were unable to seize these towns, so they permitted the Canaanites to remain in this district. But the children of Israel were dominant, and they placed the Canaanites under tribute, and did not expel them. The sons of Joseph, however, came to Joshua, asking, "Will you only give to us a single district by lot, and a line? For I am a numerous people, since the ever-living has blessed me so much." Joshua answered them, "If you are a numerous people, go up to the forest, and acquire for yourself in the country of the Perizzites and the Rephaim, since Mount Ephraim is nothing to you." But the sons of Joseph replied, "We cannot acquire the highlands, for all the Canaanites who retained the tablelands have chariots of iron, as well as the daughters of Bethshan and her daughters, and those in the valley of Jezreel." Joshua, however, answered the house of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh, saying, "You are a great people, and have great power. There shall not be another allotment to you. However, the highland shall be yours, for it is a forest, so acquire it. But you must go and expel the Canaanites, although they have chariots of iron, for you are able." Chapter 18. Afterwards all the parliament of the children of Israel assembled at Shiloh, and erected there the hall of assembly, for the country had been subjected before them. But there remained 7 tribes of the children of Israel who had not received their districts. So Joshua said to the sons of Israel, "Till when will you delay to go and seize the country which the ever-living God of your fathers gave to you? Choose for yourselves 3 men, princes from each tribe, and I will send them, and they shall go over the country and map it into districts for you, and then come to me. They must divide it into 7 portions. Judah has had his bounds fixed from the south, and the house of Joseph has had its bounds fixed from the north. So you must map out the country into 7 parts, and come back to me here, and I will draw the lots for you before your ever-living God. However, there is no share for the Levites amongst you. The ever-living is their share. And Gad and Reuben and the half-tribe of Manasseh have taken their shares beyond the Jordan to the eastward, which Moses the servant of the ever-living gave them." The princes then arose and went, and Joshua appointed their routes to map out the country, saying, "Go and travel through the land and map it, and return to me, and then I will throw the lots for you before the ever-living in Shiloh." The princes thereupon went, and passed over, and mapped out the land with its towns into 7 shares on a sheet, and then returned to Joshua to the camp in Shiloh, where Joshua threw the lots for them in Shiloh before the ever-living. Thus Joshua divided the country to the children of Israel, to each a share. And he threw the lot for the tribe of the sons of Benjamin, with their families, and the lot came fixing them between the sons of Judah and the sons of Joseph. And their boundaries were, on the north side, from the Jordan, whence the line ascended to the cliff of Jericho on the north, and went up the hill westward, and terminated at the desert of Beth-aven. And the boundary passed from there to Luz, at the cliff of Luz, southward of Beth-el, whence the line descends to Ataroth-adar, upon the hill that is to the south of Beth-horon the lower. Thence the border extends, and turns to the side of the lake southward from the hill which is opposite Beth-horon the southern, and terminates at Kereth-baal. This is the side towards the lake. But the southern side is from the bound of Kereth-baal, whence the line goes westerly, and comes to the source of the brook Nephthok. Thence the border descends the side of the hill which is opposite the valley of Ben Hinnom, where the gully of the Rephaim is, to the north, and descends the vale of Hinnom to the cliff of the Jebusai, southward, and runs down to the well of Rogel, then runs from the north, and comes to the Sun's well, and goes on to Gilaloth, where it touches the ascent of Admam, and descends to Aben-bahu of the sons of Reuben, where it passes the cliff opposite the dry lands to the north, and descends to Arabath, where the border passes the cliff of Beth-kagla to the north, and the terminus of the boundary arrives at the bay of the Salt Lake on the north, by the mouth of the Jordan. This is the south border southerly. But the Jordan bounds it on the eastern side. This was the share of the sons of Benjamin, with its boundaries for their families. The towns of the sons of Benjamin for their families were Jericho, and Beth-kagla, and Amach-katzitz, and Beth-arba, and Zemaraim, and Beth-el, and Hairim, and Parah, and Afra, and Kephir, Amam, Aphur, and Gaba, 12 towns with their villages. Gibbon, and Harma, and Baroth, and Mitzvah, and Kephirah, and Motzah, and Rekim, and Irfal, and Thiralah, and Selah, Aleph, and Jebusai, Gibrab, and Krith, 14 towns with their villages. This was the share of the sons of Benjamin for their families. The end of chapters 13 through 18 of the book of Joshua. Recording by Mark Penfold.